to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, where you can drift into a realm of gentle rest and peaceful dreams. Tonight, you are invited to join a tranquil journey into the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains on a warm summer evening where the hush of nature and the glow of the setting sun cradle you in comfort. Before we begin, take a moment to allow your shoulders to soften and let every muscle in your body grow heavier. Notice the subtle rhythm of your breath, rising and falling, steady and calm. With each slow inhalation, picture a gentle wave of soothing energy flowing through you. With each soft exhalation, imagine releasing any lingering concerns, letting them dissolve into the evening air. In this moment, you have permission to release the busyness of the day. Breathe deeply into the quiet space within yourself, letting tension slip away. As you settle into a soft, welcoming place, you might already sense the faint aroma of pine needles or the gentle rustle of summer leaves drifting at the edges of your awareness. These sensations offer a glimpse of the journey towards you. Let your eyes rest or close them if you wish, and open your heart to the lull of nature's embrace. Soon, you will wander through a story set amid whispering trees and the hush of a glowing campfire. This journey will be calm and unhurried, guiding you further and further into stillness. Breathe in once more, slowly, filling your lungs with the soft promise of rest. Then, breathe out, feeling your entire body grow just a little heavier, a little more relaxed. In the distance, the mountains rise gently, their peaks veiled in a shifting tapestry of golden light and lingering dusk. Let the warmth of that summer evening glow brush lightly against your skin, as if to remind you that this is a place free from hurry or worry. Your senses grow more attuned to the subtle hush of twilight, a cherished invitation to slow down and slip into a calm, dreamlike state. Let yourself be lulled by the thought of tall, ancient trees standing guard around a sheltered campsite, and the distant melody of crickets serenading the waning day. Keep breathing slowly, softly, sinking deeper into the present moment. There is no rush here, only the gentle promise of peace. Whenever you feel ready, let your mind drift along, leaving behind all the day's tasks and stepping into the gentle story that awaits you. In the deep hush of twilight, the traveler arrived at a small clearing tucked away in the Great Smoky Mountains. The sun was beginning its gentle descent, painting the sky with streaks of peach and rose, while the highest peaks glowed with the day's final glimmer. Quiet anticipation filled the air as the traveler stepped out of a well-worn car, inhaling the sweet perfume of mountain laurel and wild azalea. Though the remnants of daylight still lingered, a soothing darkness was on its way, carrying the promise of rest. Around them, tall trees swayed in a silent lullaby, their leaves shimmering in the soft, lingering sunlight. The traveler took a slow breath, allowing the crisp evening air to fill their lungs, and then exhaled, letting go of any stress carried from the outside world. Here, amid an ancient and benevolent forest, they could sense the protective arms of nature, standing guard like silent friends. There was no urgency now, only the steady approach of night and the comfort of a quiet place to call home for a time. After gathering a small backpack and a rolled-up sleeping bag, the traveler made their way toward a simple campsite, the path winding gently through ferns and soft moss. The hush underfoot was comforting, each step cushioned by the forest floor. A single lantern hung from a sturdy branch, its glow already flickering like a tiny star beckoning in the dimming light. Overhead, the first few stars began to appear, shy sparks against the canopy of twilight. A mild breeze passed through, carrying the faint crackle of distant leaves and the distant call of a whippoorwill echoing somewhere along the ridges. Though the traveler knew that beyond these trees lay roads and towns, in this moment the outside world faded, leaving only the sanctuary of shadowy trunks and a gentle hush. The campsite itself was modest, a flat patch of earth near a gently flowing creek with just enough space for a cozy tent. The traveler paused, quietly absorbing the scene, feeling a tender sense of gratitude for the calm that already wrapped around them like a soft blanket. With measured care, the traveler unrolled a small tent, carefully smoothing out any wrinkles before extending the metal poles into place. The process was simple and reassuring, each motion performed without haste. There was a sweet familiarity in raising a shelter beneath swaying trees, as though nature itself approved of their presence. As the tent took shape, the sky above began its nightly transformation. Pink and gold gave way to deeper blues, and the edges of the horizon were slowly brushed with muted lavender. Nearby, the creek added its voice to the evening chorus, trickling gently over smooth stones. Birds fluttered among the high branches, their wings a soft murmur against the sky. Occasionally, one would release a brief call as though offering the traveler a wordless welcome. Every breath in this forest clearing felt alive with invitation, leading the traveler further into a tranquil sense of belonging. Without hurry, they laid down a sleeping pad inside the tent, taking a moment to smooth out the corners, each movement adding to the comforting routine of settling in for the night. Once the tent was prepared, the traveler turned attention to gathering a bit of firewood for the evening's gentle warmth. They wandered toward the edge of the clearing, where fallen branches rested beneath a canopy of whispering leaves. Each twig and broken limb told a quiet story of wind and time, and collecting them felt like participating in the forest's gentle cycle. The air was pleasantly warm, with just a slight hint of coolness carried on the breeze, reminding them that night would soon gently wrap the world in its cloak, As they gathered enough wood to fill a small bundle, the sky overhead unveiled more stars, pinpoints of silent wonder twinkling in the wide expanse. The traveler paused for a moment, leaning back to gaze upward, feeling a wave of calm wash over them. How wondrous it was, they thought, to stand in a place where time seemed to slow, where the hush of nature provided a gentle lullaby to any who would listen. Carrying the collected firewood, the traveler made their way back to the center of the campsite. Stones had been arranged in a modest circle, forming a simple fire pit, and they carefully placed the sticks and branches inside, layering them in a small pyramid. The traveler struck a match, flame dancing briefly in the dusk air, and soon a gentle glow began to emanate from the budding campfire. Soft, crackling pops accompanied the flickering light as it steadily grew, painting the surroundings in a warm, golden hue. Shadows rose and fell along the forest floor, swaying like silent partners in an ancient, soothing dance. The traveler took a seat on a nearby log, letting the heat of the flames gently caress their skin, while the subtle smoky aroma mingled with the rich scent of pine. The forest around seemed to whisper in approval, as if to welcome the hearth-like glow that would accompany the quiet hours ahead. As twilight deepened, the forest began to unveil its nighttime symphony. The lull of crickets, hidden among the leaves, formed a shimmering background, while a gentle wind rustled through the canopy in soft waves. Every so often, a firefly would glide through the clearing, its tiny lantern blinking a code known only to evening's hush. The traveler watched these sparks of light drift among the bushes, appearing and disappearing in a dance of quiet wonder. In the distance, the sound of an owl gently reverberated, a calming question that resonated through the woods. Drawing a slow breath, the traveler noticed a sense of contentment settling in, as though all the pressing worries from the outside world had quietly melted into the hush of the Smoky Mountains. The glow of the campfire reflected in the traveler's eyes, a silent companion offering both warmth and solace. No pressing tasks remained for the night, only the invitation to be fully present in the stillness. With a calm curiosity, the traveler rose from their seat and wandered a short distance from the fire, following the soft path illuminated by the moon's gentle glow. The ground beneath was springy with fallen needles and damp moss, offering a plush cushion for every footstep. Towering pines and stately oaks stood watch overhead, their branches stretching into the darkness like protective arms cradling the forest floor. A subtle fragrance lingered, an earthy blend of damp wood, wildflowers, and a hint of honeysuckle from somewhere unseen. The traveler felt a sense of peace, moving slowly as though not to disturb the delicate balance of nighttime serenity. In a small clearing just beyond the tent, the moonlight spilled across smooth stones, revealing a miniature glade where the hush seemed even more profound. Perhaps it was here, they thought, that the forest truly breathed, each leaf and blade of grass softly exhaling in time with the world's hidden heartbeat. Returning to the campfire's glow, the traveler decided to prepare a simple evening meal. A small pot of water was set to heat over the dancing flames, and soon steam rose in gentle swirls, carrying the promise of warmth and nourishment. The traveler added a handful of tender vegetables, letting them simmer, while a pinch of salt and fragrant herbs joined in, their aromas blending with the resinous scent of burning wood. Contentment grew in the traveler's heart as they tended to this humble task, stirring gently. The crackling fire provided a soft soundtrack, its sparks drifting upward to vanish among the stars. Time seemed suspended between each breath, the hush of the forest matched by the mindful silence of stirring the pot. At last, when the food was ready, the traveler savored each spoonful, each bite a quiet moment of gratitude for the fullness of nature's bounty. The warmth spread through their body, kindling a cozy glow within. After the meal, the traveler took a few moments to cleanse the pot and utensils in the creek, moving slowly and respectfully, trying not to disturb the water's gentle flow. The creek's clear surface reflected the silver glint of moonlight, and small ripples danced outward with each motion. The faint gurgle of flowing water, combined with the faint chorus of crickets, formed a soothing lullaby that seemed to resonate in the traveler's chest. Once everything was tidied, they returned to the fire, feeding it a little more wood to keep its comforting glow alive. Tendrils of smoke drifted upward, carrying with them a sense of timelessness, a reminder that countless travelers before had knelt by similar streams under similar skies, finding solace in the heart of this quiet land. It was a humbling realization, yet also profoundly comforting, to stand in a place that existed long before and would continue long after. As night settled into its deepest hues, the traveler began to sense a gentle fatigue, the kind that comes from breathing fresh air and feeling the wide expanse of nature's presence. Deciding to wander again before sleep, they followed a faint trail leading deeper into the woods. The moon, nearly full, provided enough light to see the soft outlines of shrubs and tree trunks, while the path wound through quiet pockets of forest. Along the way, clusters of fireflies blinked among the ferns, forming shifting constellations close to the ground. In the branches above, a gentle rustling occasionally hinted at the presence of small nocturnal creatures stirring in the canopy. The traveler's footsteps were slow and deliberate, each step mindful. There was no need to hurry in a place like this. Beyond a curve in the trail, an old wooden footbridge spanned the creek, the boards creaking softly underfoot, and the water below shimmered with moonlit ribbons. Here, the traveler paused, resting their elbows on the rail to admire the dance of light and water, grateful for a moment so simple and so pure. Eventually, the traveler returned to the campsite, where the campfire's embers still glowed with a warm, pulsing light. Taking a seat once more on the log, they allowed the final moments of wakefulness to stretch out, as comfortable as worn cotton. Thoughts drifted in and out, but each one seemed lighter, wrapped in the serenity of these mountains. The canopy of branches overhead framed a portion of sky where countless stars glittered, some bright, some faint, each contributing to the vast nighttime tapestry. A soft breeze caressed the traveler's hair, cool enough to be refreshing, but never chilly. It carried with it the faint smell of damp earth and pine, grounding the senses in gentle reality. For a moment, they remembered the hustle of city streets and the swirl of daily obligations, but the memory was distant and hushed, as if it belonged to someone else. Here, now, there was only the quiet glow of coals, the shine of constellations, and a soothing sense of completeness. Soon the desire for rest grew stronger. The traveler stirred the embers with a long stick, watching sparks dance upward before placing a small cover over the fire to contain it. A hush settled in the clearing, as though the forest recognized that the day's final chapter had come. With slow, gentle movements, the traveler climbed into the tent, the rustle of fabric and the soft crunch of leaves beneath, reminding them of nature's tender presence. Inside, the sleeping bag felt inviting, like a warm cocoon where they could let go of all thoughts and simply drift. The traveler took a final look through the tent's mesh window, catching a glimpse of moonlit branches swaying overhead. Their eyelids grew heavy, burdened not by worry, but by a sweet and languid desire for dreams. Outside, the forest carried on, continuing its nocturnal song, a lullaby that carried away any remaining tension. The traveler felt a deep sense of gratitude, and as they relaxed into the darkness, they allowed themselves to be lulled by the gentle rhythms of the Great Smoky Mountains. In the early hours of morning, the forest was wrapped in a delicate stillness, almost like a held breath before dawn. Though the traveler slept soundly, the faintest light began to touch the fringes of the night sky, hinting at a new day's arrival. Birds, sensing the shift in darkness, stirred on their perches, their feathered bodies warming for the first notes of the dawn chorus. A hush of expectancy lay over the treetops, and in the softness of that hour, dew formed along leaves and blades of grass, each drop glistening like a tiny jewel in the moon's remaining glow. The traveler, however, remained in the deep realms of slumber, curled comfortably inside the tent, while the forest seemed to watch over them with gentle guardianship. The distant babble of the creek provided a steady murmur, and occasionally a gentle breeze would pass through, stirring the air with a cool caress. Night lingered a little longer, not quite ready to relinquish its hold, and the traveler stayed cradled in that peaceful overlap between darkness and the earliest approach of light. Then, almost imperceptibly, the sky began to shift from ink blue to a muted gray. Faint outlines of mountain ridges took shape, and the hush of the forest was gradually replaced by the first tentative chirps of dawn birds. The traveler stirred in their sleep, drawn upward by a gentle awareness that something was changing. Slowly, their eyes blinked open, greeted by the soft interior glow of the tent. illuminated by the subtle hint of morning's approach. Outside, the forest breathed anew, each leaf and creature welcoming the fresh possibilities of day. Rolling to one side, the traveler took a moment to soak in that sensation of waking not to an alarm, but to nature's gentle nudge. There was no rush. The world outside the tent was unhurried, and so was the traveler. They stretched, feeling pleasantly rested, and listened to the layering chorus of bird song, which grew in confidence with each passing moment. It was a new day in the Great Smoky Mountains, and with it came the promise of renewed wonder. Deciding to greet the morning light, the traveler carefully unzipped the tent flap. A soft breath of cool air entered, carrying the scent of damp grass and wild greenery. Stepping outside, they marveled at the subtle mist that clung to the lower branches, swirling in the gentle breeze. The sky was a pale canvas now, streaked with the first hints of pink and gold. The traveler noticed that the air seemed to shimmer with quiet vitality, as though the forest itself exhaled a peaceful greeting. Feeling drawn to the rippling creek, they made their way down a narrow path, the dewdrops on the leaves brushing delicately against pant legs. At the water's edge, the traveler crouched and cupped their hands, splashing the cool water over their face. It was bracing and invigorating, a tender reminder of nature's ability to awaken body and mind with the simplest of touches. As beads of water trickled down their cheeks, the traveler closed their eyes for a moment, sending a silent word of thanks for the blessing of gentle rest. Back at the campsite, the traveler rekindled the fire, coaxing the lingering embers to life with a few dry twigs. Warm flames soon danced once again, and the traveler set a small kettle of water to boil. Steam curled upward, blending with the soft morning air, and in a short while, a soothing beverage was ready, a light tea, fragrant with hints of chamomile, or perhaps a whisper of mint. With the first sip, warmth flowed through the traveler, matching the gentle glow of the morning sun. No sound of traffic or the bustle of daily routines intruded here. Instead, the soundtrack was the quiet crackle of the fire, the graceful call of birds, and the water's steady conversation with smooth stones. Clouds drifted lazily across the sky, as though they, too, recognized the unhurried pace of life in these mountains. Leaning against a sturdy log, the traveler enjoyed these simple luxuries: warmth, quiet, and the comforting awareness that this day, like the evening before, would hold a serene unfolding of moments rather than urgent demands. Although the idea of exploring further into the Great Smoky Mountains beckoned, the traveler decided to take it slowly. There was a gentle trail leading past the creek and up a mild slope, known for its overlooks and delicate wildflowers. Gathering a light pack with water, some snacks, and an open heart, the traveler set off, leaving the tent safely anchored under the watchful branches of the trees. The morning sun filtered through the foliage, creating patches of light that danced along the forest floor. Here and there, the traveler spotted glimpses of tiny blossoms, pink trillium, purple violets, and bright yellow adder's tongue, dotting the trail's edge, each one an exquisite testament to the mountain's vibrant life. The gentle exertion of walking brought a pleasant warmth, balanced by the crispness of the mountain air. Birdsong mingled with the rustle of leaves, crafting a soft soundtrack that inspired calm reflection. With every step forward, the traveler breathed in the forest's harmony, feeling it resonate within their own quiet center. As the trail wound upward, it revealed small surprises along the way. Gnarled tree roots that formed natural steps, clusters of ferns unfurling their delicate fronds, and occasional rocky ledges where the traveler paused to peer through the branches at distant valleys. In these fleeting breaks, the traveler felt the cool breeze on their face, carrying the refreshing scent of pine and damp earth. Sometimes, the faint sound of trickling water hinted at a hidden spring or waterfall not far off. These were moments to linger, to appreciate the tapestry of life woven through each layer of the forest. The traveler was in no hurry. Each step on the path was its own reward, a simple act of communion with the soft, undulating terrain. Climbing a little higher, the traveler finally reached a small overlook, a natural terrace perched on a cluster of smooth boulders. From here, the forest canopy stretched out in every direction, rippling like a green sea beneath the softly burning sun. The horizon was lined with ridges that rose and fell, a gentle testament to the ancient artistry of time and nature. Taking a moment to sit on one of the warm stones, the traveler closed their eyes and let the hush settle around them. High above, a hawk circled gracefully, its sharp cry echoing in the open sky. The gentle hum of insects whispered among the tall grass, adding another layer to the morning's melody. A distant woodpecker drummed on a tree trunk, each hollow tap resonating across the quiet hills. Breathing in, the traveler could taste the sweet tang of clean mountain air. Breathing out, they released any sense of time, letting themselves simply exist in this sunlit space. When finally they opened their eyes, the traveler was greeted by a panorama of rolling peaks, each veiled by a soft haze that gave these mountains their legendary name. It was a sight that both humbled and uplifted them, reminding them that some places were meant to be felt rather than merely seen. This was the Great Smoky Mountains in all its gentle grandeur, a realm of lush stillness that welcomed every curious spirit with open arms. Having spent a stretch of minutes, or perhaps hours, it was hard to tell in the comforting flow of time, at the overlook, the traveler slowly made their way back down the trail, retracing steps through the dappled shade. Descending felt easier, gravity lending a soft momentum that lulled the traveler into an almost meditative rhythm. Step after step, the forest gently embraced them, the breeze picking up fallen leaves and dancing them across the footpath. When the traveler finally returned to the campsite, they found it just as they had left it, quiet and welcoming. The tent stood calmly beneath the whispering branches, and a few embers still glowed in the fire ring, suggesting that the memory of warmth had not quite faded. The traveler smiled to see how time in this place seemed to flow like a slow-moving river, each moment blending into the next with a soothing grace. Setting aside the pack, they took a seat on the same log from the night before, letting the sense of fulfillment settle over them like a comforting shawl. There was no rush to be anywhere else. In the gentle lull of midday, the traveler decided to rest in the shade, letting the sun's bright rays be filtered by the canopy overhead. The birds' songs had mellowed into a softer tune, and the creek's gentle refrain continued its patient, eternal flow. A small breeze occasionally carried the faint scent of wild roses from somewhere downstream, adding another layer of sweetness to the afternoon air. Stretching out on a broad, flat rock warmed by sunlight, the traveler closed their eyes and listened to the symphony of subtle sounds, leaves rustling, water murmuring, and the far-off call of a bird. A profound tranquility washed over them, and without effort, they slipped into a brief doze, lulled by the forest's rhythmic heartbeat. When at last they stirred, the traveler felt refreshed, as if hours of deep rest had passed, though only a short while had gone by. Sometimes, in a place like this, even a small moment can feel like an abundant gift of time. With afternoon slowly unfolding, the traveler rose, feeling a gentle hunger and deciding to prepare another simple meal. They gathered a few twigs to rekindle the fire, coaxing the coals to glow brighter, and set a small pot to warm once again. This time, they enjoyed something hearty, yet light, perhaps a warm broth with a handful of grains, and let the savory aroma drift on the breeze. The forest seemed to approve, as a curious bird hopped closer, tilting its head as if to inquire about the meal. The traveler smiled softly, mindful not to startle the little creature, and continued stirring, each rotation of the spoon a soothing, ritual-like motion. When the broth was ready, they sipped it slowly, savoring both the warmth and the gratitude that had become so natural in this peaceful setting. It was as though each act, no matter how small, carried meaning in these mountains, a gentle reminder of the tender bond between living beings and the land that sustains them. As the golden light of late afternoon touched the tree trunks, the traveler felt a desire to wander once more, this time along the creek's edge, to see the way the sun reflected on the flowing water. The path was familiar now, each turn of the bank revealing a new perspective on the rippling surface. In places where the water ran shallow and clear, the traveler noticed smooth stones glimmering beneath the surface. In deeper pools, the creek's reflection caught the overhead greenery, creating a tapestry of green, gold, and rippling shadows. The traveler paused by a gentle bend in the stream where water tumbled across a series of miniature ledges. Kneeling there, they dipped a hand in, feeling the cool flow pass over their fingers. This simple act brought a sense of renewed vitality, as if the water carried away any lingering heaviness of thought. Far above, the sky had begun to soften into the warm hues of early evening, a promise of another serene night on its way. When at last the traveler returned to the campsite, the sun was approaching the horizon, setting the sky aflame with brilliant oranges and soft purples. The gentle transition from day to night was underway, and the air carried a mellow hush that spoke of winding down. The traveler sat for a moment to watch the sun dip behind the mountains, each layer of ridgeline becoming an ever-deepening silhouette. The forest around them breathed with an ancient patience, each living thing feeling this shift in light. Fireflies began to appear once more, flickering amongst the edges of the clearing like tiny guardians of the dusk. Soon, the traveler would kindle the campfire again, would watch the embers dance into the star-flecked sky, and let the hush of the evening envelop them as it had the night before. But for now, they simply basked in the transitional light, heart content and spirit quiet. The Great Smoky Mountains had offered them not just a place to stay, but a gentle tapestry of moments woven from the threads of nature's slow, steady rhythm. And so, as the traveler prepared for another night beneath swaying branches, they felt a peaceful familiarity take hold. Tomorrow might bring more exploration, or perhaps just another day of restful observation. Either possibility felt equally welcoming. The traveler took a seat by the fire pit, carefully stacking logs in a small teepee shape, and struck a match. This time, the flame seemed to catch more quickly, as though the forest itself was eager to share its stories in the flickering glow. The gentle crackle began anew, and soft shadows danced along the ground, echoing the slow, rhythmic pulse of a land steeped in time. Overhead, the sky grew darker, and one by one stars emerged, each a silent echo of wonder. The traveler closed their eyes, inhaling the fragrant air that carried a trace of wood smoke and the subtle aroma of wildflowers drifting on the edges of the night. There were no words to capture this sense of unity with the mountains, only a quiet acceptance of belonging. It was the perfect ending to a summer day, and with it came the promise of peaceful dreams and a gentle tomorrow. Now, as nighttime drapes the woods in velvet darkness, the traveler feels a gentle drowsiness settle into their limbs. Each breath comes more slowly, rising and falling in a steady rhythm that matches the soft pulse of the world around them. There is no rush in this quiet realm, no demands pushing against the boundaries of rest. Little by little, the edges of consciousness blur, and the traveler drifts further into the soothing lull of night. In this peaceful place, small worries find no foothold. The hush of the forest encourages each thought to slow until it dissolves into the background. The gentle flicker of the campfire fades into the calm glow of a single ember, its light holding the promise of warmth even as the body relaxes into stillness. Crickets continue their lullaby, weaving a tapestry of soft sound that cradles the mind, inviting it to float in serene contentment. As the traveler slips inside their tent, the faint rustle of nylon and the quiet sigh of the sleeping bag beckon them deeper into rest. Outside, a breeze passes through the trees, whispering a gentle goodnight. The forest stands watch, a silent guardian, its heart beating in time with the slow, steady breaths of the one who sleeps beneath its branches. The stars, bright and unwavering, shine overhead like kindly companions, offering comfort in the immensity of the night sky. Here, in the soft cradle of the Great Smoky Mountains, all is well. Dreams rise like a gentle mist, carrying the spirit to tranquil realms where nature's harmony continues to soothe. The traveler surrenders to the velvety embrace of sleep, allowing that healing darkness to envelop every muscle, every thought. May this moment of stillness remain, easing all cares into silence. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.